gentlemen, please stand now for the national song of the Cayman Islands, performed this evening by the Cayman Islands Folk Singers. Thank you. You may be seated.
The time will come when with elation you will greet yourself arriving at your own door, in your own mirror, and each will smile at the other's welcome and say, "Sit here, eat." You will love again the stranger who was yourself. Give wine, give bread. Give back your heart to itself, to the stranger who has loved you all your life, whom you ignored for another, who knows you by heart. Take down the love letters from the bookshelf, the photographs, the desperate notes. Peel your own image from the mirror. Sit, feast on your life.
"30 years, 10,957 days, 262,968 hours, 3 decades of work, 3 decades of preserving, stimulating, and celebrating Cayman's heritage, arts, and culture by the Cayman National Cultural Foundation. Who are we? We are
guardians.
Versatile, multifaceted,
colorful, expressive,
passionate,
Cultivators.
Empowering, inspired,
pride,
a mecca,
inclusive. You!
The reach of our mission extends to all of the Cayman Islands and embraces every art form. We educate through practice, publications, workshops and training mentorship, competitions, exhibitions, pageants, parades, displays, and artistic grants. We conserve and preserve our tangible and intangible cultural heritage, our language, cultural enactments, music, rituals, paintings, craft, properties such as Mind's Eye, the home of visionary Caymanian intuitive artist Gladwin Bush, also known as Miss Lassie. We document through research and publication of journals, play scripts, poetry, prose, film and video and production.
A country that does not value its arts and culture has no respect for itself. And value is not measured in platitudes, but the percentage of our gross resources we allocate to the creative education of our people.
But let us start at the beginning.
The Cayman National Cultural Foundation started really with a casual conversation between Jeff Creswell and myself. Jeff was, if you like, the leader and certainly the director of the In Theatre Company, a group of 3 or 4 Caymanians, including Dr. Frank McField, Anita Ebanks and Bendel Hydes, and they got together and started producing West Indian plays. Up to that point in time, a lot of plays produced had originated in England as opposed to the West Indies. The In Theatre was so called because they performed initially at the Holiday Inn in the conference room, and then subsequently at Royal Palms in their conference room. And Jeff said to me, we've had somebody approach us to say that they're willing to build a theatre for us and we want to know how much it would cost. Jeff had identified Mrs. Harkwell as being a benefactress to provide the land and also the funds to build the theatre. The studio theatre, now being complete, needed to be owned by an entity at Mrs. Harkwell's bequest that belonged to the people of the Cayman Islands. So in October 1984, the Cayman National Cultural Foundation was formed, and the In Theatre Company changed their name to the Cayman National Theatre Company.
After 3 years of construction beginning in 1983, the F.J. Harkwell Cultural Center was officially opened with a week-long celebration in December 1986 with a production of The Sound of Music. In 1989, CNCF recruited award-winning actor, director, designer Henry Mutu to help the organization creatively refocus on its mission. The team immediately set about recontextualizing its role, seeing it as one that, above all else, must pioneer the type and level of cultural thinking that will assist Caymanians to achieve cultural and creative self-actualization.
I think what the importance of the foundation, we have to be here. We have to remain here to see to it that the host culture, those traditions, those reenactments, those enactments, whatever they were that made Cayman before a whole lot of the influx of other people. I think those things need to be looked at, they need to be preserved, and they need to find their place at the center of any emerging culture that is going to happen.
In 1991, CNCF added Marcia Mutu, a professional theatre artist and qualified arts manager. Together with the oversight of the CNCF board and the invaluable contribution of talented and hardworking staff, volunteers and sponsors, CNCF has managed to build an enviable artistic legacy for Caymanians to build on.
We want to hear from people. We need their involvement. We need them to volunteer their time, their talent, their ideas, their wishes, their dreams. They need to contribute that to us, and we, in return, want to help them to grow whatever those ideas are.
Good evening again. It is such a pleasure to have you join us for the 21st Annual National Arts and Culture Awards this evening. A very warm welcome to our distinguished guests, Deputy Governor Honorable Franz Manderson and Mrs. Manderson, the Premier and Minister for Culture Honorable Alton McLaughlin, Councillor in the Ministry of Culture MLA Roy McTaggart and Mrs. McTaggart, Chief Officer in the Ministry of Culture Mrs. Jennifer Ahern, Deputy Chief Officer in the Ministry of Culture, Mrs. Nancy Barnard, CNCF's Chairman, Mr. Martin Bold, and our board members, other distinguished members of the public service, and of course, tonight's awardees, as well as the CNCF Artistic Director, Henry Mutu, our staff, our dear volunteers. Welcome, family and friends, one and all. My name is Marcia Mutu, and I'm the CNCF Managing Director, and I'd like to introduce my co-presenter this evening, CNCF Cultural Heritage Programs Specialist, Lorna Bush.
Good evening. Every year we look forward to this gala when we have the opportunity to applaud the contributions and achievements of Cayman's artists and cultural practitioners of whom we are truly proud. They're the real reason we're here tonight, to celebrate their talent, achievements, and dedication to passing on our cultural heritage and to advancing our contemporary arts and culture. At this time, I'd like to call to the podium the Premier of the Cayman Islands, who also happens to be our Minister of Culture, the Honorable Alden McLaughlin. Please make him welcome.
Thank you, Ms. Nora. Good evening, everyone. Up here is a bad place to be. You can't see a single soul. It's really disconcerting. But it gives me great pleasure as Premier and Minister of Culture to congratulate the Cayman National Cultural Foundation for 30 years of service and dedication to the Cayman Islands. This is actually my second stint as Minister of Culture. And so I have had the distinguished pleasure of working with many of the Cncf team over the years, because the faces don't change much. In 1989, just after I qualified as a lawyer, I got a phone call from a fellow called Dave Martins, who asked me if I'd be prepared to sit on the Cncf board, and thus began my involvement with Cncf over the years. In my years in politics, there have been periods when I haven't had a great deal to do with Cncf, but I had one stint as Minister of Culture, and as I said, the faces didn't change very much. And now here I am again as Minister of Culture, able to be part of the 30th anniversary of the establishment of Cncf. The contributions of Cncf over the years and the work they have done in preserving the cultural heritage and promoting our creative artists have been extraordinary. And as I said, I'm humbled that I was given an opportunity over the years to assist with some of that work when I served on the Cncf board and as minister. It makes tonight's function feel a bit like coming home and reuniting with old friends. For some of us, when we consider Cayman's culture, we conjure images of wampas, smoke pots, kitchen bands, heavy cake and dresses made from chicken feed sacks. And while it is important to remember our heritage and our history, we must remember that our culture is a dynamic thing, constantly evolving, reflecting the addition of new people and new influences. Cayman, over the past 50 years in particular, has seen massive amounts of people from all over the world come to live and work in our country. When I was born, which I like to think wasn't all that long ago, the population was a mere 8,500 people between all three islands. Now it's close to 60,000 people. Most of that increase has been the result of immigration. Caymanians have not been as productive as perhaps we should have been. But with this meteoric increase in population in a small country that supports more than 120 different nationalities, it is easy to see the fluidity of culture as it builds on the past and paves the way for the future. We must recognize the vibrancy of the Cayman culture, realize how important it is to us as a people, and how important it has always been to those who come here and truly want to understand what life is like and was like in Cayman. As we as a people and a country age and mature, it is vitally important to ensure that our younger generations are aware of and appreciate from where and whence we came. Just recently, we lost one of our cultural icons and recipient of the Heritage Gold Cross, Captain Marvin Evans. There are others who have gone before him, and we are indebted to all of them for their work to preserve Cayman's history, heritage, and culture. I look forward to tomorrow when we will have a chance to see all of the different costumes that will be worn as part of Dress for Culture Day. It's a day that will allow us all who call the Cayman Islands home a chance to reflect the cultures of our native lands through dress. I thank everyone who participated in this important yearly fundraiser. If you miss seeing some of the outfits, join us for Red Sky at Night, Saturday, for the Parade of Nations. Speaking of Red Sky at Night, I have looked over the schedule and it looks like it's going to be a very busy night, filling our senses with arts of all kinds. I was happy to see that the film Metro Manila will be featured showing us the talents of Frankie Flowers Jr., who, by the way, got his start in the arts from a Cncf youth program. The old-time Cayman music that will be featured is sure to take us all back to a simpler time and remind us of our youth. The evening will be an amazing experience with something for the entire family and a celebration of an eclectic mix of music, theatre, film, fine arts, crafts, fashion design, culinary arts, and cultural discussions. But back to tonight's festivities. With the wealth of local artists who are preserving our heritage and culture, I'm sure the members of the committee that chose tonight's deserving winners faced the most daunting task. I thank them for their service, as well as for all those who made the various nominations. I congratulate all of tonight's winners and single out this year's Heritage Gold Cross recipient, Mr. J.A. Roy Borden, Cayman's iconic author, cultural historian, and former Minister of Education and Culture, and a former teacher and colleague of mine in the Legislative Assembly. The cross is given for consistent and active quality engagement in the preservation and celebration of our cultural heritage, for which Mr. Borden is a very worthy candidate. His contributions to our society cannot be overstated, and besides his time in politics, his storytelling, recorded in his published works, is astounding. In his book, Stories My Grandfather Never Told Me, which is a collection of stories that reflect the cultural vibrancy of Watertown, and by inference the Cayman Islands, that display the uniqueness of its people, their idiosyncrasies, and the sheer energies of village life in the mid-20th century, he writes, and I quote, "It was a captivating experience to listen to these simple people, master griots in their own right, and watch them hold audiences spellbound with riveting tales of adventure, bravado, heroism, and wit. Their words, pictures, accent, and diction were unique." Unquote. Indeed, we don't learn at the knees of those who helped shape our culture and learn how to keep up the traditions. The Cayman we know and love will be lost for future generations. So thank you, Roy, for doing your part. I also congratulate and offer thanks to Artistic Director Imran Mutu and Managing Director Marcia Mutu and their staff for the tireless efforts they put into promoting arts and culture while ensuring sound fiscal and cultural policy management. And last but certainly not least, I applaud the many, many volunteers who have kept and continue to keep the cogs of Cncf greased, making possible all of the good work that takes place to protect and preserve Cayman's culture. I thank you for your continued support of Cncf. Tonight, they are off duty as we pause to show our appreciation to the volunteers who make KPS and other Cncf programs happen. As I close, I would remind everyone that we will be doing this again next year. So if you know someone who you believe has made a major contribution in keeping our arts and culture alive, please nominate them. Don't leave it to someone else, because if you do, that person may not get the recognition that they deserve. Again, I congratulate all of tonight's winners, and I hope that all of us enjoy the evening. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you so much, Premier McLaughlin. Our first category tonight, the Chairman's Award, recognizes an entity or individual whose work has complemented that of CNCF and whose contribution, though not necessarily monetary, has made a significant positive impact on our work. I'll now introduce and welcome to the stage the Chairman of CNCF's Board, Martin Bold, to make remarks and present the Chairman's Awards for this year. Martin.
As the Premier said, you can't see anything from up here. The faces you've seen in the pictures, we've all got a little bit grayer, but the faces in large part remain the same. It has in fact been a fabulous journey. I feel very privileged to have been involved. And I thank all of our staff, all of our volunteers, and particularly I would like to thank the sponsors that make our work possible, not least of all the government of the Cayman Islands, who through successive administrations always given us tremendous support for the work that we do at the Cultural Foundation. Each year it's good to recognize, and we've seen as each year goes by more and more significance to the recognition of those that have both identified and preserved and recorded our culture. And it's a delight to see for the board and the Cultural Foundation the fact that so many young people are recognizing that there's a tremendous future for them all in following and preserving the arts of the Cayman Islands. For the Chairman's Award, I would like to recognize three particular sponsors of our work. The first is
were you going to reveal
even the best laid plans of mice and men. Okay.
I'll announce them.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Martin. It was a big secret until about 6:30 this afternoon. This year, for the first time, we have a three-way tie. For outstanding contributions over the years, we recognize Flowers Bottled Water. If you wouldn't mind, Representative, come from those stairs over there.
This way?
Yes, please. Yeah, I heard a voice, I couldn't see you. Flowers Bottled Water. A champion, especially with our Storytelling Festival, they're always family by right to help. Foster's Food Fair, IGA. A second on behalf of Foster's Food Fair, David Foster. Woody Foster. I'm not sure, Woody, if you want us to tell them how generous you are with the Cultural Foundation, because others may turn to you. Okay, might get a little bit of a secret, but it is not a secret. They're a wonderful company and always there to help. Thank you so much. And Funky Times Limited, accepting on behalf of Funky Times is Mr. Mark. You know, I saw him. Funky Times and Foster's Food Fair are always ready to sell tickets for any of our events, and we truly appreciate it. It is a great help. And they're super professional about what they do. Thank you so much, Mark, for all you've done. Thank you, Martin. Appreciate it. And I'll now call on the Deputy Chairman of the CNCF Board, Mr. Morgan da Costa, to present the award to Sponsor of the Year. This year, we're pleased to recognize Walkers as CNCF's Sponsor of the Year. Walker's generous support of the Mind's Eye School Tours program allowed us to provide a quality cultural educational project product for nearly 1,500 students and teachers last year, inspiring future generations, sharing cultural traditions, and celebrating Caymanian heritage. Walkers. Thank you very much, Noah. Now time for a little entertainment. We'd like to welcome on stage one of our Young at Heart's rising stars, Victoria Buttram. You may remember Victoria, who this past summer played Tijan in the Derek Walcott play Tijan and His Brothers. She'll now perform a piece from her Guinness Story 2014 appearance, Victoria.
I will be performing a piece, a story which I wrote and told this year's Gimme Story, which is entitled The Unforgettable Cassava Cake. Why, cried Miss Nellie, why did they steal my delicious cassava cake? Down the road, you can hear Eddie and John having a laugh as they chow down Miss Nellie's cassava cake. Boy, we got her this time, said Etta. This is the best cassava cake she's made. John is a little enthusiastic about the situation. Why do we have to steal her cake every Sunday? I mean, it is hers, and we just thief it and run away. Shouldn't we just ask her for a slice? What? Said Etta. That is the stupidest thing I ever heard you say. Now stop hogging all the crust, for that is the best part. Back at Miss Nellie's yard, a steam is brewing in the back of her brain. I cannot believe they steal my cake all the time. I bake that for me, nobody else. And I can't believe them children keep doing this. I need to do something about it. I know what I'll do. I'll bake another cake next Sunday. But something needs to be put in there to teach them a lesson. Scotch bonnet peppers. Yes. It won't harm her. Just a few dozen. Yes, that's what I'll do. The week has gone by, and Sunday has come again. That old woman wake up 4 o'clock in the morning to bake one little cake. Boy, she determined. She puts the cake there after hours have passed, and John and Etta have caused enough ruckus around the neighborhood to get everybody in a bad mood first thing Sunday morning. What shall we do? Said Eddie. Well, said John, we haven't visited Miss Nellie in a while. Miss Nellie puts the cake quickly on the windowsill and looks through the window to see the scene. Fast like a bullet, Eddie and John grab the cake and run up the mango tree a few yards away. Before they even know what they just have done, their faces are redder than the Scotch bonnet pepper she put in. Steam is coming from their ears, and they scream, drop from the tree, and run to find a cool beverage to burn for the burning sensation on their tongue. Miss Nellie could do nothing but laugh. Now, every Sunday, Miss Nellie has her cake, and there's peace in the neighborhood. I don't really know what happened to them boys, but one thing I know, that was one unforgettable cassava cake. Thank you.
Victoria Buttram. That's a new generation coming up there. Well done, Victoria. Like 12 Scotch bonnet. Love the flavor, but that might be a little bit of overkill. Now, I'd like to welcome on stage educator, cultural historian, and author, J.A. Roy Bottom, to read from his latest publication, Reflections from a Broken Mirror. Please welcome him.
know that time is short, but in my family, the men like to drink a lot of liquor. And as one of my uncles used to say, a bird cannot fly on one wing, which means that he needed 2 drinks. So I crave your indulgence to read 2 short poems. The first is one called Natives and Expatriates. I think this poem is indicative of the dilemma which we face today. Indulge me please by listening. Natives and expatriates, the old men said. My, oh my, now they're all dead. And so this poem is left to blend. It is a story change must end. For whom, for what, I cannot tell. One thing is sure, the old men said, if we don't get the present right, we'll have done ourselves a sorry plight. It makes no difference where we're from. All of us should be like one. Chewed up, spat out against the wall. Our selfish ways the cause of fall. It makes no difference, pain or plain. The mirror says we're all the same. For if we do not get this right, Cayman will be a sorry sight. For whom or what, I cannot tell, because everything will go to hell. The mirror hanging on the wall already gave its final call. Expatriate and native too. You can't pretend you have no clue. For when the blood begins to flow, there will be nowhere for us to go. So work together is the call, or else prepare for one great fall. The second poem is equally indicative of some of the dilemmas we face. It's called Who Cares? Who cares for the baby born to the poor, with nowhere to sleep except on the floor? I heard the mother praying in the night, because the father left without putting things right. Who cares for the young boy playing the fool, when no one's concerned he's failing in school? Mother, you better continue to pray, because your son will surely go astray. When no one tells him you're my son, no one stops him from using the gun. Dog eat dog in this wretched place. There is no hiding of his black face. Who cares for the young man now in jail, because the Grand Court says there is no bail? And yet they tell us we are free, only to be chained to illiteracy. Who cares for the sentence of 20 years when it's only a poor mother to shed her tears? No, mother, don't cry, for it'll be all over by and by. Then you won't have to wonder if I'll make another blunder. Who cares for the young man now freed from jail, with no hope in hell except another chance to fail? In every mother's chest there beats a heart, just hoping and praying for one fresh start. And so it is from day to day. It seems as if she'll always pay. But the system keeps us so low down because we're black and from that side of town. I heard the young man say his prayer, "Oh Lord, just send me someone to care." Today they claim that we are free, but we are slaves to poverty. Who cares for the man now old and gray, his only hope being to die one day? I heard another mother praying in the night, hoping her child would avoid that plight. She lived her life as best she could, with forlorn hopes that the system would enable her son to do some good. Instead, it turned him to the hood. Today they tell us it's them who cares, for all of us who shed our tears. For far too long, men wind up in jail from a system which is set to fail. And still we ask, as that mother did, who cares enough to up the bid? Who cares? Who cares enough to make it end? It's only words a politician blend. There's no need to make amends, because we only have our ghetto friends. Who cares, you ask? Not the governor, not the judges, not the lawyers, not the police, not the teachers, not the preachers, not the bankers, not the politicians. not the brothers or the sisters. Who cares? Who really cares?
Thank you, Mrs. Martin. Unfortunately, those words may be prophetic or even a reality for some, even now. The National Arts and Culture Awards recognize those who attain a level of merit in their artistic discipline, contribute to arts, culture, and heritage of the Cayman Islands, and support the work of the Cayman National Cultural Foundation. The two awards are the Cncf Heritage Cross Medal and the Cncf Star for Creativity in the Arts Medal. Representations of the medals are on display and are a part of tonight's set. Each medal has gold, silver, and bronze division and was designed by Cncf Artistic Director Henry Matu. I am pleased now to introduce the Secretary of the Grants and Awards Committee, Mrs. Virginia Foster. Please welcome her to the stage. Thank you. And our first Heritage Certificate tonight is presented to Mrs. Greta Tatum. Greta Tatum grew up in West Bay, Grand Cayman, and from a very early age was interested in the history of these islands. She has lived in Cayman Brac for the greater part of her life and is happy to be actively passing on this rich cultural heritage to her children, grandchildren, and many students and visitors to Cayman Brac. Thank you. Up next for their heritage certificates are Matt Brown and Hermes Solomon Hines. Matt Brown consistently strives to deliver polished entertainment through involvement in acting, media production, and music. In addition, Matt hosts the KISS FM morning show and holds dual degrees in professional recording arts and social studies.
Hi, good night. I just wanted to say that I'm here tonight because of a team of others who put in a lot of hard work and thought into making the projects that I'm involved in the best that they can be. Whether it's film, TV, or live theater, before the presentation, there has to be a concept, there has to be writing, editing, production, before I get to go in front of the audience and do what I love to do. I know in Rundown, Henry gave me some great lines, and I got to be the face. So I really appreciate it. And whenever I forgot something at home, Lorna Bush saved the day. She went to my house in the second half of the show, dug in my closet, got me a shirt, got me back here 5 minutes before the second half. Thank you. I'm proud to accept this award on behalf of all other creators on the island, people who are constantly raising the bar and pushing the quality of content. I challenge you all to continue. There's even more success in your next project. I also need to thank Ben Hudson for giving me a lot of creative advice. I need to thank Quincy Brown for nominating me. And thank you for inspiring me to help to create more content and to make others laugh. I need to thank Henry Matu and the Cncf board for awarding me tonight. Thank you very much.
Hermes Solomon Hines is a self-taught artist for whom art is something that appeals to our senses and emotions. His language is the language of intuitive characters and metaphors. Hermes was awarded a certificate in 2004 for his outstanding contributions to Cayman's quincentennial celebration. and now we'll intersperse with a bit of entertainment again. The Cayman Islands Performing Arts Company was formed in 2014 by Layla Scott and Patricia Bent to develop and showcase the talents of the young people of these islands. The group consists of 25 performers representing 9 schools, public and private. Karina Linford and Deanna Webb will now perform the final scene from Hannah's Confession, written by Patricia Bent and directed by Layla Scott.
Mommy's moving me back to my first school. I was planning on coming to tell everybody goodbye, but...
What do you mean you're not coming back? Who's gonna be my lab partner in bio? Who's gonna challenge my theory of the Hannah, what's wrong? Are you okay? Hannah, what happened to your arm? Hannah, what happened to your neck?
Nothing, all right?
No,
don't worry about it.
No, Hannah, this is serious. Hannah, these are bruises. Hannah, who did this to you? Hannah, look at me. Hannah, look at me. Tell me who did this to you. Hannah, who hurt you like this? Hannah!
I said it's nothing, Charlotte. Now just leave it alone, please. I have problems. Big problems. I don't expect you to understand. I don't even understand myself sometimes. I don't expect anyone to understand. My life is darkness. I wake up in it and I go to sleep in it. I live it and I breathe it.
Hannah, what's going on?
I'm only 15. But you know, sometimes I feel like I'm 200. I used to dream and believe that if I worked hard and studied and just never gave up, that I'd be able to get out of here, rise up from this place, make something of myself. I don't believe that anymore. I'm stuck. Look at my mother, a user, a cokehead. Nothing ever changes in this yard, and I can't make it out. Someday I'm gonna be just like my mother.
No, Hannah, don't say that. Hannah, please don't say that. You are nothing like her. Hannah, you've got an amazing future ahead of you. It's just hard for you to see that right now. But it's gonna be okay. I promise you're gonna make it out.
No, it's not! I mean, I am so tired of everyone telling me that it's gonna be okay. There's no such thing as okay for me. Do you want to know the truth? I'm always cleaning up her messes. I'm always lying so she doesn't get into trouble. Do you know why I don't eat lunch in the cafeteria? It's because I never have lunch money. I lie and tell you guys that I'm doing research in the library so I don't have to sit there hungry.
Hannah, why didn't you say something? Hannah, I don't understand why you didn't tell me this was going on. Hannah, I mean, I'm your friend. You know, if you had told me, I would have done something. Hannah, just, why didn't you tell me?
I wore my sweater to school every day last month. Why? Because I didn't want you guys seeing the bruises on my arms. This is what she does, Charlotte. This is how much she loves me.
Hannah.
I took some money out of her purse to buy my little sister Naomi a new school uniform. I didn't want the kids teasing her, calling her dirty or stink. When she found out, she called me a thief. And she beat me so bad, broke the broom on me. Because it was her drug money. And nobody better touch her damn drug money.
Hannah, why didn't you say something? Hannah, why didn't you tell me it was going on?
You want to know how it feels to go to bed every night and hear another man's voice in your house and wonder if he's going to hurt you or your brother or sister? I mean, she lets him into her life so easily. She doesn't care. Sometimes she's so high on drugs or drunk that she doesn't feel anything, that she doesn't know anything. She doesn't see what it's doing to us. My life is nothing. And through everything, I still love her. How can I still love her?
Hannah, you may think I don't understand. Hannah, you're right. I don't understand what could make someone do such horrible things. Hannah, but I do know one thing. It's not right for her to treat you like this. Hannah, it's not right for anyone to be treated like this. If you love your mother, you need to tell somebody what's going on. You have to tell someone so that your mother can get help.
Help? Girls' home? I can't, Charlotte. I'm not gonna let anyone separate me from my brother and sister. I would never let—
Hannah, listen to me! Hannah, if your mother doesn't get help soon, you may not be around long enough to look after Caleb and Naomi. Now think about that. What would they do if something happened to you? Hannah, you don't really have a choice. Hannah, you have to look out for them. Hannah, you're gonna tell, I know you can do this. You're smart, you're kind, you're beautiful. Hannah, you're the strongest person I know.
I am not as strong as you think, Charlotte. I mean, sometimes I just get so tired. I am so tired of all of this. I try to keep my head up, but it's just too hard. And I'm scared.
Hannah, please don't be scared. Hannah, I am here for you. If you love your mother, you need to do this. Hannah, you have to say something. You gotta tell.
I don't know if I can. Who will listen? I mean, who cares about 3 children from Turtle
Hannah, you're not alone. Somebody is going to listen. Somebody will help. Hannah, somebody will listen.
Give them another round of applause. As we wait now for part 2 of the 30th anniversary video. We had a part of it just a bit earlier. Now we're going to bring out the remaining 2 minutes of that.
Cncf has diligently followed its mission, initiating creative projects that, over the years, have put heritage, culture, and the arts at the very center of the national consciousness. One such project documents the invaluable cultural and artistic legacy of visionary intuitive Miss Lassie. The Mind's Eye project is the ongoing conservation of Miss Lassie's paintings and historic home, which was placed on the 2012 World Monument Fund's watch list.
I know the faults of my work so far where painting is concerned. I do not make the nose of my face is like the nose of the human, but I paint it as it appears before my mind's eye. It's not of some off-site layout. Whatever it is, I paint it as I see it, whether it's wrong or whether it's right.
There are only a handful of such artists whose spirits are so deeply interwoven with their homelands. Miss Lassie is your great treasure, and one that can give back honor and respect to Cayman culture in a way that enchants visitors and native Caymanians for many generations to come.
We haven't really looked into the real significance of the kind of legacy that Miss Lassie has left us. And it's really very difficult to express how important it is to kind of quantify that legacy.
I salute and praise your resolve to preserve and to treasure Miss Lassie's creative legacy for future generations. In doing so, you have protected what will surely be an oasis for folk and visionary art lovers worldwide, and underscored your value of a true daughter of Cayman. This act will also send a very positive and empowering message to young Caymanian people who struggle to search for their own creative voice.
Since 2001, CNCF has published the Cayman Islands Arts and Culture Journal, Foundation, appropriately named because that is exactly what arts and culture are to a society, a foundation. Musical recordings by Radley Gorzong and the Happy Boys, Aunt Julia Hides, Northside Kitchen Band, and Cayman's country music crooner Roy Bodden all celebrate the Caymanian music traditions that are important elements of our culture.
A few years back, we produced the double CD album, The Traditional Music of the Cayman Islands, and following right on the heels of that, then the Folk Singers was founded. As it is right now, we have approximately 22 songs in the repertoire, the majority of which are genuine Cayman songs. I'm pleased to be a part of that. I'm pleased to be a part of the movement that says we're bringing Cayman's culture and our songs and our spoken word, our oral history, our traditions. I'm pleased to be a part of that. We're bringing it out now into the forefront where all can see and enjoy.
When you talk about loose one head around.
Our many productions include stage plays, and the popular pair, Gimme Story, the International Storytelling Festival of the Cayman Islands, and Rundown.
I listen to that show. I don't hear him agreeing with her about it.
You can't hear nothing. Because all day long you locked up and made a toast. Come today, the chips and watermelon soda.
CNCF nurtures young talent through its education programs such as Young at Arts. The next generation are our key to continuing Cayman traditions and culture. We need to ensure that young people are given the opportunity to express themselves in an artistic way for the world to see.
Every CNCF program has an opportunity for youth to get involved. We also have some very specific youth-oriented programs. Young at Arts is actually the umbrella that covers all of our youth programming. We also have the Summer Arts Camp, and it's kind of like an introduction to the arts, and also it is a program that focuses a lot on Caymanian heritage. Another program that falls under Young at Arts is Young Image Makers. We have anywhere from 45 to 75 films entered each year into the program, and we always select our top 20, and that are eventually premiered. And of course, at the end of the premiere, we award 2 students with trips off island to further their education in film. K-Fest is the Cayman Islands National Festival of the Arts. We've been doing it since 1995, and it is certainly the most inclusive arts festival in Cayman Islands. Now, this year K-Fest is in 3 parts: the National Arts and Culture Awards, and of course then there's Dress for Culture and Red Sky at Night.
In 2005, Dance Cayman was the only Caribbean representation at the Aberdeen International Youth Festival in Scotland, joining more than 15 other arts groups from Canada, Israel, Ukraine, and more. In 2007, CNCF was named the local coordinator of the Traveling Caribbean Film Showcase. It selects works in their original language for distribution across all the countries of the region, and for the past 7 years, CNCF has screened TCFS selections here. Additionally, the Cultural Foundation offers its grants for the arts for individuals, groups, and organizations to help further their development. Through our Arts and Culture Awards, we recognize those who attain a high level of excellence in their artistic discipline and contribute to the arts, culture, and heritage of the Cayman Islands. Part of understanding who we are today is understanding who we were, where we came from. The people are the heart of a cultural body, and a body needs a heart to survive.
It's a little difficult and a little bit of a challenge to try to condense 30 years into a few minutes, but that should give you a taste of what we've been up to all the time. We'd now like to present the Heritage Awards with the help of CNCF board member, Mrs. Deanna LeCloy. Please help me welcome her to the stage. The 2014-15 Heritage Cross Silver Awards are being presented to 2 individuals this evening. Deal Ebanks. Deal Ebanks developed an early passion for his Caymanian heritage when his grandfather taught him the art of making thatch roll, gigs, and other handmade toys. He takes pride in sharing his skills with the younger generation at CNCF summer camps and other events. Donna Mary Stephen. Besides her other accomplishments, for the past 14 years, Donna has been at the helm of the organizing committee for Cayman Carnival Babadoo. Donna also launched mass band Sachet Bon, featuring costume design, an associated mass camp that offers professional costume making instructions from industry professionals. Congratulations, Donna and Deal. Thank you so much. I'd like to call on the Premier again, if you don't mind, sir, Honorable Alden McLaughlin, to make the presentation of the Heritage Award Gold. This year's Heritage Award Gold goes to none other than J.A. Roy Bodden, J.P. Roy has written and published several books on the social, cultural, economic, and political evolution of the Cayman Islands, and is patron of the Cayman AIDS Foundation. Mr. Roy Bodden.
Ladies and gentlemen, I just want to humbly acknowledge my dear wife, Nancy, who is my partner. In all of my writings, she has to endure my million readings, million questions, and by disturbing her in the silent watches of the morning, when I get an idea, jump out of bed, waking her. Thank you, Nancy.
Congratulations. And we're about to have a little bit more entertainment on the video. You saw them quite a bit. The Cayman Islands folk singers, they're coming out again to entertain you. Please give them a round of applause.
It was in the month of May, Calvert and Gearman went off bay. They caught one hawksbill, so they say, but old black cat went and took it away. Lord, what a misery! Wherever I see Bonnie, people will be sorry to see the graveyard for Bonnie and the gallows for me. I'd like to say that old black cat, I hope to my God it will make him fat. But Isaac says I'll cut my throat. The knuckle-headed goat take a case to court. Lord, what a misery! Wherever I see Bonnie, people will be sorry to see the graveyard for Bonnie and the gallows for me. For as she was sucking bone, I say you wouldn't give me none. Black cat break his piece of spoon, digging out the hospital bone. Lord, what a misery! Whenever I see Bonnie, people will be sorry to see the graveyard for Bonnie and the gallows for me. Herman said, if you don't give me some, I'm gonna drink off no well and they rum. And I'm gonna get out on the spree, and I'm gonna kick up Bonnie right in tree. Lord, what a misery! Wherever I see Bonnie, people will be sorry to see the graveyard for Bonnie and the gallows for me. Oh Lord, what a misery! Wherever I see Bonnie, people will be sorry to see the graveyard for Bonnie and the gallows for me. Every time I
Thank you, folk singers, for those two songs. And I'd like to ask Lorna Reed, please come to the stage. Thank you. Ms. Lorna Reed is actually filling two roles tonight. She is also a hardworking member of the CNCF board. So we're going to ask her now to stay and help us with the presentations for the Star for Creativity Awards. And the Star for Creativity in the silver category goes to Mrs. Starry Scott. Starry Scott learned the art of thatch plaiting at the early age of 7 from her grandmother. Starry and her husband Tennyson opened their craft shop, Nim Things, native island made, in Spot Bay in 1986. She has received a number of awards for her craft work, culinary dishes, and ambassadorship. Congratulations, Ms. Starry. Thank you. And tonight we have a record-breaking number of Heritage Cross Gold Awards. The first is to Daryl Dakers. Daryl is known amongst the community as Cayman's native son for his exceptional musical talent. Daryl has recorded and released 4 CDs and recently formed a record company, CMI Records, which works to promote local music. Thank you very much, Daryl. Our next award goes to Paul DeFreitas, and he first trod the boards at 17, playing Thomas More in A Man for All Seasons, 1964, and was hooked for life. He began to take an interest in technical theatre and apprenticed himself to Peter Phillips, the theatre manager of the Prospect Playhouse. When Peter retired in 2012, Paul was elected as the new theatre manager and deputy chairman of the Cayman Drama Society. Conrad Martin, who is not here to accept tonight, is a bracker, and he's been playing the guitar and singing for about as long as he can remember. As a teenager, the musical talents of his cousin Roy Bodden, and not the J.A. Roy Bodden that just received, this is the musical Roy Bodden. And Roy Bodden, together with his uncle Jake McLaughlin, were a great influence, and he began playing at age 14. He has traveled all across the southern United States performing at private functions, and still continues to be a popular performer in the Sister Islands. Our next gold award goes to Mr. Alan Walton Miles, better known as Bunny. Bunny has exhibited outstanding leadership and musical skills throughout his career, which has spanned over 5 decades, and we're not giving his age away. He has been an integral component of many bands over the years, including the Regeneration Band. Alan Miles has handcrafted from local mahogany wood a fully functional electric guitar, and this has won him first place at the annual agricultural show. Thank you, congratulations.
Good evening. Just like to thank Culture Foundation for recognizing me, but also I would like to ask all of the businesses, all the business people, all the companies to really get behind the musicians, the young people that is trying to get started in music. Get behind them, because music, you don't have the time to do anything wrong. You got to go to practice and practice. You don't have the time. Foolishness. So please support the musicians and the Music Association. Thank you.
Thank you, Martin, for helping us with those. And now I'd like to call on the CNCF Artistic Director, Mr. Matu. Would he please come to the stage to help with the next round of awards as we continue in the gold category, Star for Creativity. Thank you, Mr. Matu.
I'm not speaking. I just want to say one thing. Art should make the comfortable uncomfortable and the uncomfortable comfortable. And we're comfortable.
All right, our next award goes to another BRACA, and again, unfortunately, he won't be here. I'll just back up for a moment, though. The Regeneration Band, Mr. Bunny Miles, who was just on, they will be headlining at Red Sky at night. So please come out on Saturday night to hear Bunny and Regeneration. So, Raymond, who is a 60-year-old native Cayman BRACA, in his own words, he's been playing music since he was born. He is the son of renowned fiddler Septimore Scott, who he himself was a former recipient of CNCF's Heritage Award, and the music genes have obviously been passed on. Raymond plays the drums, guitar, bass guitar, keyboard, organ, harmonica, and accordion. So, Mrs. Matu, you don't have to hand Raymond his, but I understand that next up, we have accepting on behalf of Ms. Selena Alame Scott Ebanks of Cayman BRAC. Her grandson, I understand, will be here tonight to accept the award on her behalf. So I'd like to welcome Mr. Fellows, the great-grandson of Ms. Alame Scott. Now, at an early age, Ms. Alame taught herself how to play the Hawaiian guitar. She wrote her own poetry, campaign songs for resident politician Captain Keith Tibbetts, and she began playwriting at 15. She did a number of plays, and from what I have seen of her young great-grandson, he is definitely following in her footsteps. He would like to say something on her behalf.
On behalf of my great-grandmother, I and she would like to thank the Cultural Foundation for recognizing her contributions. And truly, she'll be happy when we give this to her over the weekend.
Now the awards, or I should say the nominations, were coming in hard and fast from the BRAC during this past nomination period, and I had nothing to do with it. I really had nothing to do with it. However, the next one is from Mr. Isaac Vernon Smith, who's known as Smitty, and there he is up on the screen, but Mr. Matu, you don't have to present to him either. We're going to have to make a trip over to Cayman BRAC to take all these awards. Coincidentally, Smitty, or Mr. Vernon as we know him in the BRAC, was a part of the bands with Bunny Miles and those back in the day when they were still going to sea. In their seagoing years, they actually had a band together on the ships, and that included the late Stubby Bodden, who, as we know, was the original Cayman cowboy, but Andy Martin was on the same ship as well. So they would play various ports wherever they went ashore. But these days, Vernon is known for the role he plays in recording and assisting other musicians from Smitty's backyard studio in Cayman BRAC. Now, Mr. Matu, we're going to call somebody up for you. The next award, I'm really proud to announce, goes to Mr. Edward Lancelot Solomon. Known affectionately as Solly. He was born in Boddentown some 67 years ago. Solly has been involved in music since his teens. He's especially known for his drumming expertise as well as easy listening jazz sounds. Ed Solomon and the mainstream band have been fixtures on the Cayman scene for many years. Please welcome Mr. Edward Angela Solomon, accepting for his own self with his new right shoulder. Not a new right shoulder, you know. Thank you so much, and thank you, Mr. Miku. Congratulations to all of the awardees. It is my pleasure now to invite to the stage for your enjoyment our guest performers, the UCCI Performing Arts Ensemble.
they deserve another round of applause. What do you think? That was a rousing, lively way to come close to the end of the program this evening. We do have one other award that we want to present. And by the way, the young lady who was up front singing spent a little bit of time with the Young at Arts program, but we really want to thank UCCI and Dr. Monica Lawrence and the Performing Arts Ensemble for their great work. Talking about our Young at Arts students and some of the students that have passed through the Cultural Foundation, I want to ask Victoria Woodrum and Henry Hill to come out just quickly to wave to you, because we think they've done a fine job being our trophy people tonight. Keep your eyes open for them, and we'll see a lot more of them. Thank you both. Someone who freely offers himself or herself for a service or undertaking. That's the definition of volunteer. Freely offers themselves, that so aptly describes the MO of CNCF's core volunteers. CNCF is indeed grateful to our team of volunteers, without whom we simply could not accomplish all that is required. There were 10 strong contenders for this year's award. Top award, Volunteer of the Year award. And I want to mention those 10 people tonight. Alberto Estebanovich, Anne-Marie Walton, Catherine Rebecca Lloyd, Audrey Gale, Bernadine Moraine, Carol Bolton, Donna Ebanks, Henry Hill, Giovanni Ebanks, and Winston Sum. But this year's winner is Catherine Rebecca Lloyd. Catherine, she could not be here with us this evening since she's away at university pursuing a degree in arts history, but upon being notified of this award, she prepared a brief video.
I really enjoy volunteering because it gives me the opportunity to meet new people, and it also gives me a little bit of work experience. Thank you for choosing me as Volunteer of the Year. I honestly didn't expect it, but I'm happy for it as I found it raised my self-esteem.
Thank you, Catherine. So proud of you, and we wish you well in your studies. I believe Catherine's father is here tonight and will accept the award on her behalf. To present the award, our board member, Ms. Liz Schofield. So I see Liz. Is Catherine's dad here? Oh, come. Premier was absolutely right. We can't see anybody at all when you're standing on the stage with the lights.
If she was here, she wouldn't say much, I can tell you that. But we're very proud of her. I'm grateful for the opportunity. Thanks.
We'd like to recognize all of the volunteers that are here tonight. Isaac, could you bring the lights up just a little bit, because I'm going to ask the volunteers who are here tonight to stand for us to just acknowledge them. One of the few nights of the year that we don't force them to work. Thank you all so much. We really appreciate your contribution. Lorna and I would like to add our congratulations to those who have already been extended tonight. You have our heartfelt thanks for all you've done and continue to do for Cayman by your work. Thank you all for coming and sharing this evening with us. Volunteers, we do have something a little nice, a special for you, so make sure that you go to the alcoves to check on that. And thank you all for coming tonight. Have a safe travel home. Good night.